As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.
So the first thing is Uber that I wanted to go over. So Uber recently released, it's not really dating related, but I don't know, whatever, gender related. So that's, scroll down a little bit, Nick. Okay, actually just click the center one at the top. Yeah. Uber is launching a new women preferences feature in the United States with pilot programs in Los Angeles, SF, and Detroit. This allows women riders to request women drivers and women drivers to opt in for women-only trips. It's already facilitating over 100 million trips globally. The feature aims to enhance safety, confidence, and flexibility while offering more choice. Expect potentially longer wait times for these matches. More choice, more control. Women told us they wanted the option to be matched with other women, and we listened after piloting these features in other countries, bringing women preferences to the United States. Riders can choose a woman driver. Drivers get more flexibility and control because when we make Uber better for women, we make it better for everyone. Scroll up. Uber's new feature in the U.S. makes ride sharing safer for female riders and drivers. All right, going around the table, your reaction, are you in favor? What do you think? Good, bad, neutral?
Neutral, but I think it's good because I prefer women doctors because I've had terrible experiences with male doctors.
Okay.
So like I specifically seek out women because I feel safer with them.
Okay.
So yeah.
I think it's a good thing. If you have trauma with that type of stuff, then you're probably more comfortable with another woman.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're a small woman, you can be easily taken advantage of. You know, you're not going to win against a large man.
I agree. Just because the same thing, like you could request like a woman doctor, and you just whatever makes you feel more comfortable. You know, women can be predators too. However, it's less likely than a man in our experience.
Hey, I'm happy that they did that. I've had bad experiences, so I mean, and I'm small. Like it's hard. So I agree.
What about you? What do you think?
I think like, what's the harm? It makes people feel safer. So what?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Thoughts?
So me personally, it hasn't crossed my mind to ever request a female driver. Okay, I will leave space for people who are traumatized and feel safer that way. Beautiful, love it, glad that you have it. If me personally, I may have requested, like if I'm around guys that are like making me uncomfortable at a bar or something, I might actually request a male driver, because somebody who might be able to intimidate them, because men respect men other more than women. So in my opinion, like I think that again, it's great for people who feel safer that way, and it's more comfortable for them to be in that environment because of things that they're working through. And a little nuance that I'll add here is that, like, one thing that I've seen in society a lot is a lot of men versus women, and perpetuating more and more and more this, like, men are violent or evil or whatever it is. And, like, there's really great men out there.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
And I think that if I were a predator, yes, Uber might be a way that I go about predatoring. Again, lots of nuance here, but overall, glad for the people who could use it and who feel safer that way. I would not utilize it myself.
Okay, your thoughts?
I agree with her. I wouldn't utilize it. No offense, I don't think women are the best drivers. So I wouldn't want to get an Uber with a woman.
I wasn't expecting such a base take.
And honestly, with your fact that a man would intimidate another man from a bar, I think that would be a good point. But honestly, having that option doing grocery pickup or the grocery ordering, having women do that because they are a little bit more detailed. than missing the items at the store. But
they know how to pick the avocado.
I think it's just for rides. I think it's just for rides at the moment. Pause. Your thoughts?
I agree with the last few things. I have like so many questions about it, because how do we know if it's like really safe? Because it could be a man making a profile as a woman requesting woman. Wouldn't that also be a danger?
Hey, she's got a point, right? What if I identify as a woman? Are you going to go ahead and discriminate against me? I'll sue.
if we're talking about that.
That was
Well,
one thing I
apparently
was gonna mention.
on the Uber app, I think whether you're the driver, I think drivers go through more verification. But as a passenger, you can just go into your settings. Like I can just change my gender to woman.
Yeah, so it's not like ID verified.
Yeah.
So I don't know when it comes to the driver side.
Because like, yeah, your driver's
side,
license says, yeah,
Well,
your
'cause it's
gender.
so-
yeah, but you can
like,
just change your
there's-
gender in the
yeah.
app. But anyways, but your thoughts overall, assuming like everything works out fine, the woman can just pick to be picked up by a woman. The woman driver can prioritize wanting to pick up female passengers. In favor?
Yeah.
I guess I'm less bothered by Uber. Yeah, it's just doctors that give me the ick.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to a situation where you're in a like state of undress, I think it's fine to have preferences with, like, same with bathrooms.
Yeah.
If you're in a state of undress, I can see how there's like a bona fide reason for wanting to only have people of the same.
Yeah, I'm like,
gender.
I guess I'm less
I try to
inclined
avoid-
on this issue with
Yeah.
drivers versus
Pause. Did you want to finish
Why Uber
your thoughts on
law?
this though?
I don't really know what more to say about it, but I personally just don't trust it. I think it's a great thing that they're trying to start, but I don't see like a safety towards it, like verification, like photo identity, like like when you make a Tinder profile, you get like a check mark if you do like a whole like 360 of your face to make sure that you're not like.
Well, let's assume they can verify and ensure that if you click this preference that you want a woman to pick you up, that it is going to be a woman who picks you up. And if you're the driver side, you're going to get you can have a preference to just pick up female passengers.
Okay, well, maybe I just have trust issues, but there's like people who put on wigs, wear like makeup, and like.
Yeah, but they could do that. I mean, so currently the current sort of what's it called? The status quo is when you purchase an Uber, you could get a woman, you could get a man. So you could, as women, you could just get a man to pick you up. But now with this option, there's like a greater likelihood that they're gonna try to pair you with a female driver.
But isn't this option to have like women feel more safe
Yeah.
if they feel like they could have a female driver?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, like, what if it was a male that acts as a female to get a woman
Sure.
driver and want to maybe harm her? That's all.
Oh, you're saying,
that's what I mean.
I see what you're saying. You're saying with this option, it would make it, because now if you're just on Uber, you don't really know who you're going to get. As
Yeah.
the guy, like, probably good chance you end up with a male driver, right? Because I think there's more male Uber drivers than female Uber drivers. In this instance, though, they could like fake their gender, so they could intentionally try to target getting a female driver, basically. Or
yeah.
The funny thing is, in liberal logic, she would have to accept him. If not, she's not inclusive enough.
Reverse, I guess, could be true too. There's probably, again, more verification on the driver's side, where they're going to do a bit more to verify that the driver is a female. So I guess unlikely for the driver to be trying to be like predatory, I guess, in this circumstance. But okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but
All
I
right,
also,
well, I'm going to come in with a hot take.
okay.
I don't like it. And I think because it is creating a accepted social stigma towards men. I understand that women do have bad experiences with men. I understand that women have certain safety concerns, etc. But I would like to present to you a challenge to the logic as follows. A lot of women would say, well, men are more likely to commit certain crimes, or as women, you guys have had firsthand, secondhand, thirdhand bad experiences with men. Well, hold on. What if I, as a white person, I'm not saying that this is the case, but let's say I made the case, hypothetically, that I could point to a race that was more represented in crime statistics, and I was attacked in my past by a member of this racial group. And I said, I only want to be matched with people of my own race. I think we would all rightfully look at this first off, the optics, if Uber were to implement like a whites can only, you have a white preference, you want to be paired with a white driver, it would optically be fucking terrible for Uber. But it would also quite clearly be racist. It'd be a racist practice. It'd be discriminatory. In that same light, I think it's discriminatory towards men to create a social stigma. Of course, there are men out there who are monsters who do commit crimes. But I think the majority of Uber rides go off, just you get in the car, maybe the guy makes like annoying conversation, whatever. You get in the car, he brings you to your place, and that's it. Has there been in the past some bad things in Uber? I've seen videos though where I saw a Muslim Uber driver, I think he was Muslim, maybe whatever, picking up 2 white women. And the white woman just fucking, for no reason, and it's all recorded on the dash cam, maces the Muslim Uber driver. And I think it was like racially motivated, possibly. He wasn't doing anything, literally just fucking driving or whatever. Takes out her pepper spray, maces the dude. So, I think men have experienced this too. Probably, like, I'll be charitable, not as frequently as women will have negative encounters. But it does seem a little discriminatory, The
double standard is real. Discrimination against men runs rampant. The world turns a blind eye and even encourages it.
I thought we were against discrimination.
I actually kind of see where you're coming from.
I do, but I don't.
Well, and one other thing here. I, like, as a man, I want a male driver. Are you guys okay with that? If I say, no, I say, no, please, never
happy
put
about
me.
That.
If I say, please, never. Oh my God, sorry, I just spit there.
Okay.
Very
impassionate.
Passionate. Please, only put me with a male driver. And the basis of this is because maybe it's like I have a prejudice towards women. Like, what if she falsely accused me of something, or I have another prejudice. What if I'm like, she's just a bad driver?
Okay, but if you wanted that, why is that an issue?
Well, maybe just too many women hit.
It's an issue because women would lash out about it. Uber would never risk being canceled over something like this.
Well,
so I'm gonna actually agree with Brian in a lot of ways. I think that victimization is a real thing. I think victimhood is something that people voluntarily accept when they don't take ownership and responsibility of their trauma and their triggers. Meaning that, again, I have been through a lot of experiences myself, and so I've been through the phase of fearing men or being triggered or whatever it is. However, when it's not your fault what happened to you, but it is your responsibility to grow and learn from it and to become stronger from it, wiser from it, more savvy from it, and become more empowered from it. So again, you can't, because you had a bad encounter with a couple of women or a couple of men, that doesn't mean that all men are bad or that they're all out to get you, or all women are bad, they're all out to get you. But as long as you don't work through your stuff, you're going to keep attracting unsafe people into your life.
But you guys are cool. Like, if I just have a prejudice against female drivers and I don't feel safe, it's about my safety. I don't want to get in the car with a female driver.
I feel like I addressed that.
I'm not even responding. I'm just saying it to the table. If I want to be able to pick a male driver.
Yeah, you should have that.
That's actually.
In this day and age,
are you guys cool with it? You guys cool?
I'm not judging you.
But am I being sexist towards women? I feel like it's a little sexist.
No, do your
It's a little sexist towards women.
See, Brian, realize that you're asking the table where there's a lot of women out there who are psycho and would be like, yeah, you want male drivers? Let's go. Only males, no women.
Sure, I guess. But I think
like, we're all for it over here.
No, I'm sure.
Do you, boo?
Well, I'm sure the women are all for the separation, but they would probably have some objections to the reasoning or the prejudice espoused that, okay, I think I'm, whatever. Okay, let's move the safe driver thing. What if I'm like, okay, I think the woman's going to falsely accuse me of something. And that's why. But you guys would be like, well, okay, you can't just generalize all women. Like most women are not going to like falsely accuse you of something.
They would definitely say not all women in that scenario, but they have no problem saying all men when it benefits them, though.
I think that some of us just have triggers in our bodies that we can't even control. Like, it is your job to work through that for sure, get in therapy, like, do those things. However, you can't, if you can avoid feeling that way or reacting a certain way, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
But here's my thing here. As a society, we've deemed sexism as bad, right? But now we're kind of walking it back to the point where, okay, but if I can justify my sexism, then it's okay. For example, the same arguments that women use when it comes to feeling unsafe with men, and then they want to have they want to have corporations employ discriminatory practices. What's stopping me from making like similar, logically commensurate arguments as it relates to racial segregation? Like, okay, I don't think hold on, let me phrase this properly. I think it would be racist to say for somebody to be like, I had a bad experience with a black person before. I want corporate policies to allow me to only have a white Uber driver. Like, that would be clearly racist. Mm-hmm. And that could even be illegal. It might even be illegal to discriminate on this basis, at least in California. California has a law. It's called the Unruh Civil Rights Act, I believe. I think it was passed in the 60s. Businesses can't discriminate on the basis of gender, sex, race, I think a couple other metrics. So Uber would be in violation of California law if it had, I believe it would, I could be wrong, if it had a policy that basically was like, if you're white, you can pick to only be picked up by white people. Or if you're the driver, imagine the driver is setting it. So the driver's like, I don't want to pick up black people. I only want to pick up white people. I'm sure everybody here, doesn't that sound terrible?
It does.
That sounds really racist. If the driver's like, I don't want to pick up black.
Probably shouldn't just not Uber then.
Okay, but I guess what I'm trying to get at though is it seems like discrimination is okay when it comes to men.
And the reason for it all? We've been conditioned to see it that way. Men are the oppressors, women are the victims. A tale as old as time.
That's what I call a chain reaction.
Manifest my own destiny. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The perfect recipe. May they remember me. My words will live on. I'm guided by an energy, a flame. Hold it close to you. Check out my melodies. It's the media that's been leading you. I'll show you a thing. Misdirection was the message. They don't want you to win.
As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.